last concept, that is MIG welding, metal inert gas welding, or it is also called as MIG welding, right? So sometimes it is known as gas metal arc welding. Okay, again, this is also an arc welding process only, right? So because arc is the main thing which melts the either filler material or the parent material. Here, whatever gas, that is argon, will be used usually. It's a inert gas. It is just a flux material, right? So you can take down the sketch. Different components of MIG welding are: one is electrode, inert gas supply from a cylinder. Okay, welding head, that is a welding torch. We need some AC or DC supply, and electrode feeding mechanism. Okay, so one small change is here, electrode roll will be used, which will be directly fed into the gun, right? So as the welding process is continued, this will be automatically rolled out and it will be given. From parallelly, the argon gas will be supplied, which will form a shield around the welding area, right? Please take down the sketch. So this is the last process. Okay, so coming to the process, okay, the workpiece to be welded and the consumable electrode forms the two poles. Right here, they are connected to the DC supply. One is the workpiece which you need to weld. One pole is connected here, the other pole to the electrode. So whenever the consumable electrode is brought near, so this is the gun and an argon gas will be supplied here. You can see, right? So whenever you bring here very nearer to the workpiece with a very small gap, air gap, okay, there will be an arc produced. Because of that arc, whatever electrode is there, okay, that will be melted and it will form a pool here. Parallelly, argon gas will be supplied. You can see the droplet structure here around. It forms a shielding around the entire welding area, so that the oxygen air cannot come in contact with the welded joint, so that the joint produced will be very strong. Okay, so the inert gas usually here is just as we discussed in the previous welding process. So inert gas is just a flux here. It is not involved in producing the flame. So we cannot call this process as a gas welding. This is arc welding process only, right? So this type of electrode used and shielding gas used primarily depends on, so which gas to be used, what electrode. So you cannot use the same electrode for all the materials. Depending on the material, if you are welding aluminium, electrode will be used. Copper electrode will be used, because same as parent material should be there. So we can take a call depending on which material we are welding. So this is about the metal arc welding process. The same is explained in the slide, the process, for your reference. So what are the advantages and limitations of this MIG welding? Consumable electrodes are easy to feed. Okay, so you can easily feed it. No filler rod is required. Directly the electrode itself produces the arc, and that itself will melt. Okay, automatically as the electrode gets melted, the fresh electrode will be fed. Okay, no filler rod is required. Welding is very simple. Skill required is less because in the other case you need to use both of your hands. Where one hand you have to hold the electrode at the appropriate location. The second will be the filler material. Here no such thing. Electrode and the filler material will be the same rod. This is the major advantage of this process. Inert gas shield protects the weld automatically. You need not focus the inert gas also. That itself, whatever inert gas is there, that will also be fed into the welding gun itself, so that automatically it will take care of the entire process. Just bring the gun near the joint, automatically the entire process happens. Limitations is improper welding may lead to the floating of solid impurities. Okay, one is what is the first one. If not handled properly, the weld joint may be porous. Lot of holes may be formed there, which makes the joint very weak. MIG welding exposes welders to hazardous gases, argon. Okay, argon gas will be usually used. It's a hazardous gas and it might cause lung disorders in some cases. So extreme protecting equipments might be required. Care must be taken to avoid the formation of ductile welds. Right. So here always brittle is expected. It can take up more strength. Workpiece and electrode should be kept clean before the welding. Otherwise the joint will be weak. These are some of the limitations. You can just make a note. So with that, all the welding process we have completed. Just 2 minutes I'll give you. You can take down.